The Physical Activity Readiness Questionnaire, or better known as the PARQ. If you're looking for more information about the PARQ and its meaning, then you have come to the right place. In this lesson, we will cover what is a PARQ, why is the PARQ important, what does the PARQ questionnaire tell you about, when should you be referred to a medical professional, and how to conduct a PARQ. What is a PARQ and why is it important? The exact meaning of PARQ is Physical Activity Readiness Questionnaire. It's a short questionnaire designed to determine your safety during exercise or any physical activity. There's a short group of questions to help you determine as early as possible if you have any safety concerns and if there's any health risks for you while exercising. You will tell your professor to the best of your ability if there's anything stopping you from exercising safely and if there's any health conditions you may have. You need to make sure you sign the document either in person or electronically as an initial screening process. Starting a new habit can be challenging, especially when it comes to exercises. There are so many steps for beginning a fitness program that it can be overwhelming to take the first one. Anything can be done to help you start exercising as soon as possible. However, there is one crucial step that we should never overlook. It's the basic health screen, which is where the Physical Activity Readiness Questionnaire, or PARQ, comes in. What's included on a PARQ questionnaire? A PARQ will contain questions about the current state of a student's health, as well as any longer-standing issues he or she may have before any fitness testing. Why is the PARQ important? There are 3 reasons why a PARQ is important, both for the PEPF-02 professor and for yourself. 1. To see whether you are capable of taking part in an exercise program. 2. To help the PEPF-02 professor to decide whether he or she should refer you to other professionals for medical attention. And 3. To protect the PEPF-02 professor legally from the potential blame of your sickness or disease due to a pre-existing condition you suffer. What does the PARQ questionnaire tell you about? The PEPF-02 professor will use PARQ to determine injuries or long-term health conditions. This means your professor can adjust or eradicate elements of an exercise program accordingly. In this regard, the PARQ gives you a holistic overview of some of the most important conditions and medical issues that you could have, whether you have had a surgery, as this could affect the strength of any part of your body. Next, whether you have any joint or mobility issues, so you don't overstrain certain areas and risk injury. Or whether you are pregnant or has given birth, as the weakened abdominal muscles and lower back pain brought on by pregnancy could lead to muscular injuries. When should you be referred to a medical professional? Referring to a medical professional is especially important if you can identify a problem without knowing the cause or having a diagnosis. You may be aware there's an issue without receiving medical treatment and knowing exactly what it is. An example of this is if you answer yes to the following questions on your PARQ form. You have to assess yourself. Do you feel dizzy or lightheaded during exercise or physical activity? Do you feel breathless or having breathing problem? Or do you suffer from headaches or migraines? The PEPF-02 professors are protected legally with the PARQ. The last thing to remember if you want to know what is a PARQ and why is it important is in legal terms. The PEPF-02 professors are protected with their public liability. This is because they're allowing you to warn them of any existing conditions. How to conduct a PARQ. Now we will run through the stages of actually conducting a PARQ and any steps that need to be taken afterwards. Step 1. When to conduct the PARQ. The primary meaning of the PARQ is to find out the safety of training for you. It should be one of the first things you do. This is why the PARQ should be done as part of your initial consultation with you. Step 2. Refer a student to another professional. If you answered yes to one or more questions on the PARQ, you may not be able to exercise. You need to get the approval from a doctor. Of course, this is especially true of those who have any injuries or suffer from any long-term health condition. Also, somebody who is on prescribed medication or has recently finished a course of medication will need to speak to a doctor to ensure nothing you do as part of your program will interfere. For instance, you may be taking medication for one of the following: anxiety or depression, ADHD, or allergies. Some of the side effects of this that could severely impact your workout include raised blood pressure, excessive sweating, or dehydration. Your doctor will be able to give you an idea of what level of exercise you're capable of doing and help you to decide what, if any, will be safe. Use the PARQ answers to shape your program. Though it is vital to complete, not everything will be covered by PARQ, meaning your PPF professor will need to gather more information about your health and your fitness levels before designing an exercise program for you. The PARQ usually lasts for 12 months. Therefore, if you train for longer than that, you perform PARQ periodically. This will keep you up to date on any medical issues that you are having. The PARQ is a 7-step questionnaire for use with persons of all ages. It screens for evidence of potential health risk factors associated with intense exercise, moderate physical activity, and a heart attack or other sudden cardiac event in someone with undiagnosed heart condition. If you answered yes to one or more questions, it is recommended that you should consult a physician before beginning your physical activity. If you answered no to all of the PARQ questions, you can be reasonably sure that you can exercise safely and have a low risk of having any medical complications from exercise. It is still important to start slowly and increase gradually. It may also be helpful to have a fitness assessment with your PPF 02 professor in order to determine where to begin. Why do students need to complete a PARQ? It is advised that each PPF 02 professor should produce their own PARQ relating to the type of activity they provide, as well as a set of guidelines stating what action should be taken if you give a negative response to the PARQ. This might include advising you to speak to your doctor or adopting the exercise plan to incorporate your specific requirements. In extreme cases, your PPF 02 professors may give you alternative physical activities to prevent injury. Completing the PARQ form will help you understand the risk factors that make it crucial to speak to your doctor before exercising. Now, don't get scared about checking yes for any of these questions. What are the limitations of a PARQ? The PARQ cannot identify a specific pre-existing health condition nor determine why it may exist. It is merely designed to screen whether or not an individual faces a health risk for increasing his or her level of physical activity and should receive advice from a medical professional before beginning an exercise program.